rebuilding. The catastrophic failure, a new start. Physically, mentally, our careers, our businesses. Step back, first step, next step. The driver in me just wants to get it done tomorrow. We'll do this, do that, let's move this, where are we at with this? You build some confidence, build some self-esteem, start to feel better about yourself. The Silverback Blueprint Podcast, a show for men over 40. We focus on getting stronger, staying motivated, building discipline, creating a community, and becoming truly happy. Hey guys, and welcome to the Silverback Blueprint. Today I want to talk about how do we track success. You know, we're getting into a situation in life where we've become a little too easy on ourselves, I think. That, you know, we hear people talk about the pussification of the world, the nation, our lives, our families, our business, whatever, right? Whatever our environment is and stuff. And you know, everybody wins, everybody gets a trophy for showing up and that kind of thing. And you know, at the end of the day, I guess I'm of two minds of it for sure. I think at the end of the day, we want to acknowledge people participating in things. And, you know, if we're talking about a powerlifting competition, because that's one of the things we're into, you know, I like to make sure everyone gets a free t-shirt. You know, it's just a cool little souvenir of a memento of something that you did, something that you took part of and stuff, so that when you see it and you wear it, it brings back those positive memories. So I think in that case, you know, everybody having a little something as a souvenir is really cool. However, you know, everyone gets a trophy and, you know, hey, it's just great that you tried something and that kind of stuff. I think that's a little bit detrimental. I think at the end of the day, we need to have a way of keeping score, a way of competition, really, right? You know, a sport like powerlifting is really meant to be, you know, you against you, but we should still keep score. So that's really what I was thinking about is like, how should we and how do we track success overall? You know, I was listening to a financial guy on his podcast the other day, and, you know, his whole thing was, you know, it's not about the money. He doesn't care about the money. He merely uses money as a point system to see how well he's doing in his game of increasing wealth, increasing his business, increasing his empire, if you will. Right? So, you know, the point he was stressing is that his purpose isn't the money. His purpose is building his businesses and his empire, and he's using money as a way of just keeping score. If things are going really well, one way to tell is there money, right? Are you profitable? It's not the only way, but it's a big way if we're talking about business, right? At the end of the day, it's the same in our own lives. You know, do we need to have, you know, a brand new car every year, every 2 years, and 4 vacations a year? No, but if that's really important to you and you're doing it in a way that motivates you and it keeps you driven and you get things done, I think it's okay then in that point. If it's something where you feel that you have to do it at all costs, right? Your car poor, your vacation poor, meaning that you can barely afford everything that you're doing and it's just for an image or what you feel you should be doing, or you're worried about how others look at you, then I think it quickly becomes something negative overall. You know, in lifting, I always talked about people about having a journal. We talk about journaling, period. In lifting, we have a training journal and where we write down our workouts and the loads that we use and the sets and the reps. And it's a form of keeping score. It's a way of tracking and monitoring our progress. To me, progress is success. So I think a couple of things is you have to define for yourself what success means to you. And once you decide what that means to you, then you do have to find a way to track that. See how you're doing. Are you on course? Are you getting towards or moving towards that ultimate goal you have of maybe it's having a super happy family and that you guys are all together and you make sure that you have dinner every Sunday together as a family and you do spend a vacation together. Well, I think that's phenomenal. I think that's great. And if everyone wants that in your family and it's done in a healthy manner, then by all means. So how will we track that success? Well, one way a lot of people do is they take a lot of photos, right? And they make photo albums. You know, before the days of a phone that had a better camera than the $1,000 camera in your house, we took pictures. And then out of that roll of film that might have had 24, 36, I don't even know if they did 48. I can't remember. It's been that long. You know, you went and got them developed, but you didn't develop all the pictures. Develop the good ones, the ones that looked really good, the ones that brought out the thing that you wanted to really remember and stuff like that, because you had to pay to have these photos developed. And then you took these photos and then you did two things. You threw them in a box and only looked at them once in a while, right? Or your surviving members of your family looked through them at the end once you've moved on. Or you took the time and put together albums. You had your, here's your wedding album. Everyone's got a wedding album. Your kids had a photo album. The first, when they were born, their first shit, their first fucking footstep. You know what I mean? All that stuff, crazy shit, right? There's nothing more crazy than a 1-year-old birthday party where the adults are losing their mind and the kids are just fucking pissing and shitting themselves, right? That kind of stuff. Who's that for? It's definitely not for the fucking kid, right? So it's our way of celebrating. Isn't celebrating another way of tracking our success, celebrating our success? So I think those are important times to do it. So, you have that, but at the end of the day, I think figuring out how we track success, it really is coming back to determining what success looks like for you, right? Especially when we're goal setting, especially when we're trying to move towards a purpose. When we have something, I never like to use the word vague for a purpose, because I think in our mind we have an idea what our success and our purpose. I know I have an idea what success for me and my business and my brand looks like. However, I don't have, I can't envision all the details because I'm not there yet, if that makes sense overall, right? So at the end of the day, how do I track success? Business wise, it's financial. Is there money left over at the end of every month? Well, nowadays, every once in a while, there is a little left over. And there's some months where there isn't. So that's one way to do it. Tracking members. How many members do I have now? How many members did I have 6 weeks ago, 6 months ago, 6 years ago? Right? That's another way of tracking success, and determining if you're moving forward. So at the end of the day, I think, success should be looked at and should be tracked and should be scrutinized, right? Because sometimes we end up too working towards something that we think is the success that we want. But if we sat down and really looked at it and what it is and where we're going, I think a lot of times we realize that, hey, that's not really where I wanted to go with this, or that's not really what I thought success would be like. We hear it all the time. I thought this was going to be my dream job, and it's horrible because it doesn't represent anything that you want it to be, but you're stuck in it because sometimes we just let ourselves get caught in a situation that sort of creeps up over time until we realize that we're just thoroughly not happy, right? Or we're running a business that we think is successful, but we're so busy just working on in the business and dealing with the fires and the storms that come up and that kind of thing, that we don't sit back long enough to look at the books and look at the progress and realize, hey, you know what? I've been spinning my wheels for the last 6 months or 6 years. So I think having ways to track your success is super important. In weight loss, it's if you want to have real weight loss, people that have a food journal and a weight loss journal and a training journal that write down their weigh-ins every week, right? They have success. So we use it as a way of being accountable for what we're doing. We run 6 and 12 week transformation contests and programs at Hostile. And the very first thing we talk about is show up with a journal, right? And we use that journal for many things. We've talked here about journaling in the morning ritual, definitely as part of it. But then, making sure that, if weigh-ins are every Monday, well, you're going to behave on the weekend because you've got a weigh-in and there's a goal, right? And then we can see it. Right? Actually, at the gym, we actually have a big board, a big chalkboard that we have up on the wall. And whenever we start this, we put everyone's name up and we have their starting weight. And then the week 1, week 2, week 3, right up to week 6, if it's a 6-week transformation. And I'll tell you, at the end of the day, it can be intimidating at first, right? And the ones that find it intimidating are the ones that are realizing, hey, this is a lot more serious than I thought it was. I'm going to have to do it because it's going to be up in display. And so you're accountable to yourself, but also accountable to your group and your environment. So another way of tracking your success is, what is your group? Who is your group? What is your environment? We talked about that before, your circle of 5, right? That's another way to see what your success is. If you hang out with 4 losers, you become the 5th, right? If I can be in a room where I'm the least smart guy, then I think I can learn a lot. If I can hang out in a room of other business owners where, I'm the low man on the totem pole, I know I'm going to get a lot more out of that environment because, I'll be playing up, So another way to track success is who you hang out with. So think about that, guys. Think about whatever you're working on. Think about whatever's important to you, and then find a way to track your progress and then track your success. That's all I got to say about that on that subject for this episode. As always, please head over to iTunes, leave us a 5-star rating, give us a review, head on over to hostilegear.com, use the code word Silverback. And another way to track success, guys, is how many Hostile hoodies do you have hanging up in your closet? Hey, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's podcast episode. If you haven't already got your new Work Hard Motherfucker t-shirt, head on over to hostilegear.com, save 20% using the discount code Silverback, and get that bad boy on your back. It looks good. It's slightly offensive. It's a great message. Don't wear it to church, but wear it to any family function. I'll talk to you guys later.